was thinking maybe I'd shoot one little video just before the show rolls out, and it's going to be a crazy show, so be sure to check that out. Now, the great Dusty Rhodes, late great Dusty Rhodes, once said that there's no honor among thieves, and what I'm going to be reviewing today is truly an example of that. This is Robot Team Target Shoot. Now you're going like, what does this have to do with Transformers or robots, and what does it have to do with honor among thieves? Let's check this out and I'll explain it. So this is Protoman, this is Protoretro, and let's do this.
Protoretro.
So I wanted to give you guys something a little different, something that actually kind of has a little bit of a tie to TFCon Chicago 2 years ago during its debut USA show. I want to show you guys Robot Team Target Shoot, which is a late 80s bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg, which is why I quoted the late great Dusty Rhodes. There truly is no honor among thieves. Now, back in TFCon 2008, I picked up a bunch of Gobot bootlegs from the Trans Mobots line, which was using select molds from Gobots due to their simplicity of the 600 series. Here's some examples. These are the official ones of Water Walk, Jeepers Creepers, and Slicks. Now, the 600 series, which was called the 600 series in Machine Robo because they were 600 yen back in the day, were simplistic in transformation design as opposed to their Diaclon and Microman counterparts, and thus were subject to bootlegs like crazy. So as a result, the Trans Mobot line, which came out probably around the same time, there's no date stamp on it, but they bootlegged a good amount of the 600 series Gobots. In the case of these characters here specifically. Now, what does it have to do with this weird thing behind us here? Well, it has a lot to do with it, really. Now, we'll go into closer inspection of the actual item, and then everything will come full circle. Now then, you got the essential ugly cardback generic art of typical 1950s robot. The red lines there on the arm kind of almost looks like Giant Robo, if anything, or Giant Robot, if anyone remembers that old show way back in the day. Not much discerning otherwise about it, but the main key issue here is the robots that come with it, these little targets that the gun is supposed to shoot. And so we'll open it up and we'll talk about that, because there's some interesting stuff going on. Now, the beautiful thing with old 1980s cardback stuff is that bubble just peeled right off with almost no damage to the actual cardback. I'm actually quite impressed. So, let's get to the actual items here. Now, Robot Team came with 4 little target robots, a gun, and some bullets. Now, the Robot Team gun is something that you probably would not see today legally in general, because it shoots a hard cork using air pressure, but unlike that of, say, Nerf, and hurts like hell. This thing is strong as hell. And I mean, if someone got hit in the face with this, yeah, it would hurt. Also came with bullets. Right there, 6 of them, which if you don't want something that is limited by a string, although you would just cut it off, you load the bullet in there, cock the gun, and let it rip. Somebody is going to get hurt playing with this. But it was the 80s, and safety laws were not the issue. Now, let's get to the meat of the whole thing. So we got these little robots here. And what's absolutely fascinating about them is the origin of their designs. Specifically the sticker designs here. For anyone that has a sharp eye, will be like, hey, those kind of look like Gobots. Well, you're right and wrong. Yes, they are the Gobot designs, specifically the Machine Robo designs of Water Walk. Another one, which unfortunately I do not have the official release of, but we'll get to that in a moment. I don't have something. Skids, again. And there's Jeepers Creepers. I love his name. He's so Jeep. So, but you're probably going like, hey, like, those colors don't really match up in general. What's going on here? Well, here's the thing. It's a bootleg of a bootleg. The guy who did the sticker art didn't copy the Gobot colors or the Gobot schemes. They copied that of Transmobot. So we take these guys out here, and then we bring, instead of Water Walk, Transmobot's character of, and I'm not even joking, that's his name, Skis. We got, instead of the Gobot character Dive, we got Shark-O. Instead of Slicks, one of my favorite Gobots, we got Lotus Eater. And I assume the name Lotus Eater probably stems from the fact that he defeats the car Lotus, not the flower. And instead of Jeepers Creepers, we got the barely holding together from my personal collection. I'll try to get him up here. This one is falling apart, of the bootleg. Instead of Jeepers Creepers, we got Gazcan. Now, stuff's starting to look more color accurate now, in general. So these were stickers that were actually based off of the coloring designs of the bootleg Transmobots. Very weird, huh? So it's kind of weird to see these side by side and you go, oh, that's quite bizarre, you know? Even in the case of the Jeepers Creepers, which you would say, oh, there's not much of a difference here, but they went more for the lighter colors of the chest instead of the red on there. Very weird. And in the case of, let's say, Lotus Eater or Slicks, you could see they went with the yellow design, although the paint on mine is finished, but on my Gobot one here, it's minty fresh. You could see the same thing. Very wacky bootleg. That's why I was like, oh my god, I gotta own this. It's a bootleg in a bootleg. And I gotta shoot it up. Ugh. That is awesome. So, just wanted to show you guys that. Really weird if you could find this. And they do kick around sometimes at conventions. Maybe you might see one at TFCon this weekend. Oh wow, I completely missed that. Point blank. If you see one at TFCon this weekend, be sure to pick one up because it's really cool looking. And I always dig stuff that's awesome looking like that. Holy moly, this thing's strong. So, this is Protoman of Protoretro, and this has been a video review of Robot Team Target Shuto, the bootleg of a bootleg of a bootleg. And as always, guys, take care and roll out. Hey guys, like what you saw? Want to see more? Then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe this video. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like the Facebook group for all the latest updates from Protoman of Protoretro.